President Trump knows words. In fact, he has the best words. During a speech on the gun violence that happened over the weekend, our very stable genius had offered condolences to the people of Toledo. Only problem is, nothing happened in Toledo. It actually happened in Dayton. Toledo is actually about approximately 150 miles north of Dayton. But Trump, of course, couldn't help but read whatever was written on the teleprompter, which led to some very intense Twitter mockery. I want to share some of those tweets with you just to show you how this was received, these condolences. First, let's go to Translate Trump, who points out that there is a tweet mocking people who use teleprompters. Translate Trump found, "Holy Toledo, there's always a tweet," and this is a tweet from Donald Trump. "Why does Barack Obama always have to rely on teleprompters?" It's a little bit of irony today. But let's get to some other mocking tweets here. Akilah Hughes says, "Hey, if you're in Dayton, just a swift reminder that the President of the United States was golfing when your city had a mass shooting and just referred to the city you live in as Toledo. Just tuck that in your pocket for when it comes time to vote again," which is coming relatively soon, actually. DeRay says, "Trump said Toledo. He didn't even care enough to get the location of the shooting correct. At GOP, y'all continue to enable him." Well, that's the truth. Comedian W. Kamau Bell said instead of saying Dayton, he said Toledo. And he noticed that Trump couldn't stop sniffing. And said, "If we can't impeach the president, can we at least drug test him?" Hey man, look, that's a legitimate question, right? You want to drug test people on welfare. You might want to drug test the president, who doesn't sleep very much, is very, very erratic, and sniffs all the time. I'm just saying. It might not be the worst thing in the world to do. For his health, of course. For his health. Tom Joseph said, "Trump's speech had a tight camera shot in his head and chest, perhaps to hide his body movements and podium clutching. He slurred as he struggled to read prepared text, saying Texas instead of El Paso, then closing with Toledo. He's a dementia tragedy still occupying the White House." And if that's true, that is really actually very, very sad. Peter Segal says, "First Bowling Green, now Toledo," in reference, of course, to the famous Bowling Green massacre, made famous by, of course, Kellyanne Conway, counselor to the president. And all of us, we all remember the horrific tragedy that was in Bowling Green, the massacre. Terrible. Juliet KM says, "We should treat the president that speech as seriously as the president did." Got that one out. Dar says, "Has Trump blamed the press for him saying Toledo yet? Wait a few hours. Eventually it'll come." Rex Hupke says, "Yes, you see it's spelled Dayton, but pronounced Toledo. Very common mistake, apparently, especially in Ohio." And then finally, Jay Railing says, "I have the best brain, I have the best words, I have the winning gene. Also Trump mixes up Dayton and Toledo. He doesn't care, Ohio." Well, and that, of course, is the crux of the issue, right? He doesn't care enough to get it right. Either there's something, and you want to talk about mental health, right? Either he's mentally imbalanced, or he doesn't care. Or he just reads whatever you put in the teleprompter. It doesn't matter. One of those things has to be true. Or, and this is the worst one, maybe they're all true. Yikes. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. and you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.